So dear friends, one thing that we're going to be looking at, especially with our second years, but also with our first years when they come back, is the question of moral authority. I've mentioned this a little last week. So moral authority basically is just this fundamental idea that you can't really ask anybody to do something that you don't do yourself. So you can't ask people to go to Mass if you don't go to Mass. You can't ask people to pray if you never pray. You can't ask people to keep their room tidy if you live in a pigsty. So we have to lead by example. And this is challenging and difficult and irritating, and it's not easy, because it's much easier. In Italian, they have this lovely expression. They say to preach water and drink wine. That's how they have this expression. They say you can't preach water and drink wine. So we can't tell people to do things we don't. We shouldn't tell people to do things that we don't do. Otherwise, we've no moral authority. You can say the right things, but not do them. So I was thinking of this today. I was talking to a priest. Actually, it's not true. I overheard a conversation between two priests. I start again. I overheard a conversation between a priest and a seminarian. And the seminarian asked him, is it Father, we'll call him Tom, is it Father Tom? And Father Tom just said, just call me Tom. He says that the Father, it can become a kind of an obstacle. I thought, interesting. I don't actually agree at all. I think wearing the collar, and I think the title, it's not about honor, but it's about recognizing your vocation, and that what I have to offer people is the fact that I'm a priest. That's what I have to offer them. I mean, I can help them with their groceries, I can help them cross the road as well. But what I have to offer is Jesus. People won't know that unless they have some sort of an indication that I'm a priest. So the collar is one of those ways. It's not an obstacle at all for people. It's the only. I remember coming out of a hospital. I was visiting my own dad. And as I was making my way out of the hospital, a lady came up to me and she grabbed me by the hand and she said, Father, would you mind, my mother, she's in here, and would you mind, I feel terrible asking, but she's just, I don't know, it's a bit serious, would you mind coming in? And I said, no problem at all. Obviously she wouldn't have asked if she didn't see the collar, So it allows you more missionary opportunities, the fact that they see that I'm a priest. For yourselves, to a different degree, but similarly, the way we behave must be different. Just if we follow what the Lord asks us to do, that does make us different. Romans 12, it says, "Do not be conformed to the ways of the world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind." Do not be conformed to the ways of the world. So don't do what everyone else is doing, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, so that you may know what is the perfect will of God. So following the Lord makes us different. A lot of the time we don't like that because we just want to fit in, we just want to be normal, just want to be like everyone else. But following the Lord does make us different. It does make us different. It makes us different in how we speak, makes us different in how much we drink, makes us different in how we dress, makes us different in what kind of tattoos we get, if we get any at all. It just makes us different. Don't even think about it. It makes us different. We're different. And this is the reason I'm saying all of this is St. Paul's letter to Timothy. He says, "Do not let people disregard you because you are young. Be an example for all believers in the way you speak and behave, and in your love, your faith, and your purity. Be an example." So just because you're young, you might say, well, I haven't as much experience as these people I'm speaking to, or I haven't as much studied on, or I haven't a theology degree or something. That's not what the Lord asked you to have necessarily. He's asking you to be an example in the way you speak and the way you behave. And I remember I was travelling from our house here into Kilsheelan with a bunch of young people in the car, and a deer jumped out, and I was a little startled, and I said a swear word. Well, I said it, and it was really long, because it has a, I'm not going to say what it was, of course, but it has what do they call a vowel in the middle, so I was able to say it for a long time, quite unintentionally, because the deer was running kind of out and then kind of parallel to my car and squashing me up. And anyway, so they found it very amusing, because they rarely hear me swear, because I try not to. I try not to. I'm trying to live this reading. I'm trying to lead by example. It's interesting, when I go into hardware stores, I've told this example before, sometimes if I'm working and I go into a hardware store, it's only then I notice how much people swear. Because when I go into a hardware store with a collar on, no one swears. No one swears. And I don't have to I don't like tut if someone swears. They just swear an awful lot less when they see this. It's just very interesting. So when I go in jeans and a t-shirt, then I notice, Jeannie, everyone seems to be swearing today. That's what they normally do. That's just normal. Just they stop when they see the collar. It's just interesting, because I guess they feel the need as well to kind of change their game when someone represents God, up their game, and someone represents God, you know. So this is just it. Like when we propose a good example, we try to live what the Lord asks us to do. Yes, it's different to the world, but then it also lets people see what a Christian life looks like, and that we're joyful, even though we don't do all these things that the world tells us will make us joyful. That's the key thing. If we renounce these things, we have to be able to renounce them, these things of the world. We have to be able to renounce them joyfully. Because if we renounce them, I could be drinking like everyone else. I could be getting tattoos on the inside of my eyelids like everybody else. I could be in Tahiti or Ibiza partying on the beach wearing half nothing like everyone else. Instead, I'm here knitting with my mom. You know, like now you're not really being an example. It's like we have to be able to renounce these things and still be joyful. And then this is what makes us far more effective missionaries, disciple makers. People see they don't do these things, and they're still happy. They're still happy. Not only are they still happy, they're actually happier than all the people who do these things. And this makes us interesting, actually, in the eyes of the world. A bit fascinating. It's like one of the things people always ask a priest or a nun when they visit a school here in Ireland is, are you allowed drink? Alcohol, that means, by the way, for you. Are you allowed drink? And it's funny, like, it's a funny question. Just go, well, I can. But what do you really mean by that question? I mean, do you mean, am I allowed to have fun? Is, yes, of course I can have fun. But one can have fun without alcohol. Are you allowed to drink? Can you smoke? Well, I mean, you can. But, like, again, it's just this mentality that if you want to have fun or have a fulfilled life, you probably have to sin. In order to kind of be fulfilled, you probably have to compromise your morality some way, do you? Like, that's kind of what's behind the question. You probably can have, a few little sins just to make life livable, do you? Rather than saying, no, I live for God. I can actually give these things up. Absolutely, I don't need them. So, if we ask ourselves, do the people around me, are they more likely to pray or less likely to pray because of me? The people around me, are they more likely to swear or less likely to swear because of me? People around me, are they more likely to drink or less likely to drink because of me? Do you know, like the way I kind of lead my friends or my circle of influence, am I a good influence or not? Are they more likely to live virtuously, to live purely, or less likely? It's interesting. I have a friend who knows that a friend of theirs has an issue with drink, and yet will always encourage them to go drinking. Like, that's just a really bad idea. Do you know, if I know someone struggles with drugs, I won't say, I've got some drugs here, but you can have just one or a puff, or, I know they struggle with it. What kind of a friend would I be to say, if you're a friend, you try to help the person be the best version of themselves. Are they more likely or less likely to pray? Are they more likely or less likely to drink because of you? What kind of an influence am I on those around me? And it's an interesting thing. In order to have moral authority, in order to practice what we preach, overall, our influence should be good. that because of me, my friends drink less. Because of me, my friends might smoke less. Because of me, and these are only external things, but they do reveal an attitude of heart. Hopefully because of me, not because I'm so amazing, but because I'm trying to live what God asked me to do. Hopefully because of me, my friends are more open to God. And very often it happens in circles of friends, especially amongst lads. Lads, we're not good at the whole emotions thing, unless it's anger. We're good at anger. All the other emotions, we're just kind of, I don't know what that one's about. So when someone gets sick in our families, we don't really know how to kind of talk to the lads about it. We just say, yeah, I'm just so angry now, my mother's sick. Because anger, we can do anger. But if there's someone who kind of half prayerful in the group, we don't always know how to phrase it. But it's in those moments where there's a need or a cross that more than likely I'll go to that friend who I know prays and say, look, there's someone sick in my family. Would you mind, kind of lighting a candle? We Irish people, we really find it difficult to say, can you pray for me or pray for my family? But we'll say, will you light a candle for me? It's code for prayer. We just don't want to be all emotional and say prayer. So can you light a candle for me? That's what these yokes are for, to help our people pray. So, and that's, why do we do that? Because a person led some sort of an example that was different. So now because of me, not even trying, these people are more open to prayer, more open to God's grace. That's beautiful. And we get to be that. We get to be a light in the world, salt of the earth. So, as we hear St. Paul's words again, let us take them to heart for ourselves and draw those around us by our example, not necessarily by our preaching, but by our example. Draw them closer to the heart of Jesus. Do not let people disregard you because you are young, but be an example to all the believers in the way you speak and behave, in your love, your faith, and your purity. Amen.